he clearly has no idea how to run an economy. And the American economy is about to be the next business that he bankrupts. And people are waking up and realizing this, that he has this distorted, perverted view on economics. And I think there's a certain aspect of the tariff power that he has that he gets off on. He likes the idea that he can wield this around and be a bully to our allies and to the world. And in his twisted mind, this power is somehow worth bankrupting businesses, wiping out people's retirement savings, wiping out people's ability to access capital for their businesses, people losing jobs. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about anyone who this hurts, except for his billionaire buddies and his own bottom line.
Democrats, led by former Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, tries to tell President Trump what to do with the economy. A top manufacturing company makes a bold promise to the United States. The president's tariff plans could end one of the taxes that millions of Americans pay for. And the arson suspect who attacked Governor Josh Shapiro's home has been arrested. Guys, we got a lot of interesting stories and topics to talk about today. So let's go ahead and get started with Janet Yellen. Now, Yellen became infamous when she talked about inflation going down under the Biden administration, which makes her recent comments about President Trump ironic. But before we get to that, I want you to listen to how she was forced to apologize to the American people for botching the economy so much under Joe Biden.
I was wrong then about the path that inflation would take. As I mentioned, there have been unanticipated and large shocks to the economy that have boosted energy and food prices and supply bottlenecks that have affected our economy badly that I at the time didn't fully understand.
Remember that former President Joe Biden claimed that inflation was at 9% when he came into office, believing the... Hey, by the way, guys, if you're one of the real ones who really enjoy what we do here on the channel, you've got to check out the Inner Circle. This is where our true supporters get exclusive access to content that I just can't share here, completely commercial free. It's also the best way to keep this channel going strong. So if you want to be a part of something special, join us over there. Links in the description or in the pinned comment down below. The delusion that Trump left him with an economy that was out of control. Well, here's his own Treasury Secretary admitting to us that she got it all wrong. Now, what's funny is that she's now trying to impart her wisdom to President Trump.
Well, I have had a few meetings, and the truth is, I honestly don't know what to tell them because these are huge. I've said self-inflicted wound to me. President Trump is taking a sledgehammer, not only that he's pounding our allies with this, but he's pounding the U.S. economy with this sledgehammer. And I don't understand the rationale for the tariffs. Most economists would say if what you're trying to do is to reduce the trade deficit, imposing tariffs is not going to be successful and is not the way to go about doing that. The best approach there would be greater fiscal discipline, which we're not likely to see. And perhaps it's to bring back American manufacturing. But I really think that's a pipe dream and not something that is likely to be accomplished. And we could even raise questions about whether or not, in a broad-based way, that's a desirable goal. And it's really hard to predict where this is going. The escalation with China could have very significant global implications.
It's like asking a guy who's crashed his car multiple times for driving lessons. Just doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense. The fact here is that the president has enough guts to try and bring manufacturing back to our country. He's laying out a plan to do that. And people like Janet Yellen, who just can't even predict what's coming next week, is telling him what to do. So her opinion can already be thrown out the window. Now, the real problem here is the timeline. So here's something that'll save you some time, some money, and a whole heck of a lot of stress. Guys, I found chapter hands down, is the best help for Medicare. So whether you're already on Medicare, maybe you're turning 65 soon, these experts at Chapter, guys, they will walk you through everything. They're just so nice over there, making sure that your doctors are covered, exploring every local plan, and also checking to see if you qualify for any extra benefits you might not even know about. They search every plan in your area, and the average person saving about $1,100 a year. Guys, it's 100% free. It's like a no-brainer. It's free, no pressure, no gimmicks. Call my friends over at Chapter. Their phone number is 909-563-8279, or you can go to askchapter.org/Ron to get started. Tell them Ron said hello. Now, guys, we know the president has a plan in mind. But how long will Americans give him until he gets the desired results? That's the real question. So here's what CNN political commentator David Urban had to say about it.
This is a strategy question. How long do you anticipate Americans are willing to wait for what you're talking about, for the turnaround in order to feel it? Because right now they're making clear they don't.
Yeah, in that poll, it says a couple of months, right? That's what the poll, the CBS poll says, a few months. That's what they're willing to give this president. And listen, unfortunately, we got here over decades. Decades. We shipped jobs overseas. Remember Ross Perot, that giant sucking sound? Remember that? That was, how many years ago was that occurring? And so this has been taking place over generations. When you go to my hometown of Aliquippa, Pennsylvania, that happened in the 70s and 80s. Those jobs, those steel jobs and jobs in the aluminum industry in Pennsylvania went elsewhere over a long period of time. So to think that the Trump administration could fix it in 2 weeks is a little naive. Listen, I think that Donald Trump's goals are laudable. We got to make things here. We got to make things in America.
Now, do we have big news when it comes to manufacturing? Something that can be attributed to both former President Joe Biden and President Trump. We have to give credit where credit is due here.
And yes, this does appear, Christina, to be not only big news, but a little bit of good news.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. And the president is celebrating that. But as the White House's semiconductor tariff investigation gets underway and they determine what they're going to charge chip companies, NVIDIA announced plans today to establish over 1 million square feet of manufacturing space in the United States. There's that feel-good story. The tech giant is going to produce Blackwell chips in Arizona and build AI supercomputers in Texas through partnerships with Foxconn and Wistron. With these facilities, it's expected to be operational within about 12 to 15 months. And this move is really part of NVIDIA's previously announced $500 billion AI infrastructure investment over 4 years. Though when first revealed, it was last month, if I recall, the details were limited. It's still not entirely clear, Brian, how much AI manufacturing will actually relocate to American soil, given that the semiconductor supply chain remains predominantly centered in Asia and is incredibly complex, which was in that NVIDIA blog post today. The Trump administration, though, views this development as validation of its tariff strategy. President Trump shared the news on Truth Social and stated, also from the Oval Office this morning, the higher the tariff, the faster they come, pretty much referring to manufacturers establishing domestic operations, or promising to do so. TSMC is making similar commitments with its pledge of an additional $100 billion investment, while Apple is committed $500 billion over the next 4 years. These actions may establish a new precedent for how technology companies respond to current trade pressures.
We have to understand that this will all take time, but it is good news to see some companies who are willing to play ball here. So there's also some good news when it comes to these tariffs. President Trump recently confirmed that there's a chance that income taxes could soon be a thing of the past. Watch.
Income tax?
You know, you're the only one that's asked me that. Oh, I deal with all these big financial geniuses. Nobody ever. There is a chance that the money from tariffs could be so great that it would replace. You know, in the old days, about 1870 to 1913, the tariffs were the only form of money. And that's when our nation was relatively the richest. We were the richest.
So President Trump has repeatedly addressed this possibility. And if he achieves it, I'm not sure how Democrats are going to be able to criticize him for it. Although I'm pretty sure they'll figure out some way to make it seem like it's some sort of a bad thing. But removing income taxes would ensure that we have more money in our pockets, more money in our bank accounts. And if he can bring back jobs and manufacturing at the same time, I mean, this is going to be tough for the next president to try and top that. But of course, this all remains to be seen and are mostly hypothetical. And hey, guys, I keep getting messages from you guys, comments saying, hey, Ron, I keep missing your videos. I keep missing the breaking news. Can you please make sure I get notified? So I've taken care of you guys. All you got to do is hit the link in the description down below this video or in the pinned comment and join the breaking news newsletter. That's it. Totally free. Now moving on, guys. Governor Josh Shapiro's home was recently set on fire by some arsonist, one that's been denied bail, by the way. Now, it's important to note that Josh Shapiro and his family were inside the house at the time when this guy, Cody Balmer, tried to burn it down, but thankfully, everyone made it out alive and safely.
State authorities say 38-year-old Cody Balmer is currently hospitalized for a medical event not connected to Sunday's incident. Police say Balmer planned to beat Governor Shapiro with a hammer if he found him. Balmer is accused of scaling a fence on the premises early Sunday morning, breaking into the home with that same hammer and setting fire to parts of the mansion. He faces multiple charges, including attempted murder, arson, and terrorism. Governor Shapiro talked about having to get out of the house.
Together, we secured all of our children, our 2 dogs, our family that was staying with us, and the troopers safely evacuated us from the governor's residence. Last night, we experienced an attack not just on our family, but on the entire Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Now, here's something that I found out about Balmer. A GPS device shows that his mobile device was present for 39 Kamala Harris rallies, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, pro-Hamas, and pro-Palestinian protests. Now, we can't say for certain what his political affiliation was, but I think it's pretty obvious that he was a radical. President Trump was also asked about Balmer, and this is what he had to say about the guy.
Have you attributed a motive through the FBI investigation behind the attack on Governor Josh Shapiro over the weekend?
No, I haven't, but the attacker was not a fan of Trump, I understand, just from what I read and from what I've been told. The attacker basically wasn't a fan of anybody. It's probably just a whack job. And certainly a thing like that cannot be allowed to happen.
You see how easy it is to condemn attacks on government officials? Democrats should probably take notes from the president. But instead, some of their leaders are just getting caught up in scandals. Now, guys, I covered this in a previous live stream where Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett's now under investigation. This is related to donations that she got from Act Blue. Something shady's going on over there. And also how the donations seem to be coming from people who have no idea that they were even donating to her. What's up with that? Yeah. Anyway, make sure you guys check that one out. As always, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for hitting the like button. Give my friends over at Chapter a phone call or hit the link in the description down below to get some free Medicare advice. The average senior is saving about $1,100 a year. Anyway, I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Hey, by the way, guys, if you're one of the real ones who really enjoy what we do here on the channel, you've got to check out the Inner Circle. This is where our true supporters get exclusive access to content that I just can't share here, completely commercial free. It's also the best way to keep this channel going strong. So if you want to be a part of something special, join us over there. Links in the description or in the pinned comment down below.